Hey buddies, welcome to Mass Games. My name is Simon. Today we're going to set up playing review for the game Dice Manor by Arcane Wonders. This is a game for 2 to 4 players, takes 30 to 45 minutes to play, and it's all about trying to improve our dream home that Mundane Manors were initially looking after. They've hired us to basically do a better job over the course of 4 rounds. Okay, so in this particular game we're going to have dice. There's 36 dice. There are going to be 9 per colour, so I've already got orange ready to set up. You're going to take all but 2 dice and place the last 2 over here. Okay, so you have the 7 dice remaining. If you want to see how far dice roll and whether or not you use a dice tray, please of course make sure you check out my video for that. That'll be dice distancing number 81. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Around the side you're going to have the library and stuff like this. So you're going to have these turned face up and these various things we're going to deal with. The rest of them is just going to go off to one side, but you will be drawing those as and when you're going to need them. Someone's going to take first player marker as well, so give that to somebody. That can be whoever you wish to choose. 100 marker counters as and when they're going to come into play as well. And everyone's going to take 2 inspiration tokens as well. They can use to modify die values. You can go up or down by 1, or you can re-roll all of your dice. So that's how that works. So some other rooms out. We have got this lovely kind of dining room going on. Obviously there's 2 kind of areas going over there. Again, the rest are going to be placed face down, so you're not sure what that is. We're going to have that living room area, that television place, so we're going to have that down here too. Again, the rest are going out of shot. A nice kind of watery bathroom going on over here, so that's going to go down here. And lastly, we've got 2 more things to place out. So we have got a bedroom. So in this instance, we've got a bedroom. As you can see, sometimes they're different colours. That is important. If you were watching this as a short, of course, you are now watching the full video. But do check out the shorts videos as well. Okay, we are ready to go. So in this particular game, you're trying to get the highest points, as you can probably tell. What you're looking to do is take your respective little counter. Now, if you watched my unboxing, teaser, trailer, preview over video, you will know the fact that actually there's very few baggies actually in this game. So most of the stuff is all ready to go. So you're going to chuck out your counter. That can just go off to one side as well. And there we go. So when we do scoring, we're going to start moving on to the track. You're also going to have this representing rounds. So we're starting for again in round 1. Again, we're going to play 4 rounds and then we're going to do a final kind of tallying up whereby we take our dice and we're going to do a grand tour. Okay, so first we're going to bid. So if I'm the first player, I'm going to roll these dice and see what I get. So you're going to separate your die values. So I've got some 1s, I've got some 2s, and over here I've got some other things. I've got a 4 and a 6. So what can I do? Well, don't worry about the values of this. That's just random. But I'm going to choose to place that value here. Now, I can choose to go over here and bid. So I can place out a 1 here. I can maybe place a 1 on the bid section here. I could place both here. I could place all 3 here. Or I could just play a single die value. So let's just show you, I place, I don't know, a 4 and it goes over here. So it's bidding to get this one. Why do I want to get this building? Well, once I have this room, then I need to place a 5 and a 6 on it to start running a tour, which I'll talk about in a bit. Also, ideally, I want to have 1 of each colour, as per the player aid, which is double-sided. At the end of the game, if you have 1 of each, then you're going to get some points. If you happen to have a total of the largest amount of yellow, then you're going to get 12. The next person's going to get 6. In a 2-player game, you both get 8. In a tie, you both get 8. And again, if there's for second place for ties, you're going to get a lower value as well. And also you want to have different types of rooms. So right now I've gone for a bedroom. I kind of want as many different rooms as possible, trying to get 15 points. In the last game, both players in a 2-player game, in fact, happened to get those 15 points. So that's something you can do. You can go and get yourself a room. Again, you can use that to get tours, because if and when you give a tour, which will be at the end of the round, then you can get points based on how many cubes you've placed out. So the more rooms you've gone to with dice on them, you get more points. So basically with 1, you're going to get just an inspiration token to help modify a future result. With 2, you're going to get 2 victory points. With 3, you can get 5 or 5 prestige. With 4, you get 9, and basically it's n times 2 plus 1. So with 5, you're going to get 11 because it's times 2 plus 1. Obviously with 17 is because you've happened to have got 8 times 2 plus 1. So right now I'm looking across and thinking where I want to go, and I'm thinking, right, so they're going to take the next turn. So someone else is going to roll a die, and their dice are going to give them, let's say, I don't know, they happen to get 2 1s, let's say. Now they got 2 1s. Now what they can do is wherever they like, of course they could go with a 1 here, they could bid for this, or I'll show you how that works in a second. They might want to go over here. Now the way this works is they've got 2 dice. 2 dice beats a single die, so what's going to happen is that's going to go closer to what they're looking to win. And now if I want to beat this, I've got to now play 3 dice. Now, my turn again, so I'm going to take my dice and roll them again. An advanced variant is you can just roll your dice before your next turn. I think it saves a bit of time to do that. Again, you might be looking at other people's die values. So in this case, I might chuck in 2 1s. Now imagine it's their turn, and let's say we're just playing this as a 2, and they happen to roll, and let's say they really want to go for this bid. I'll show you how that works in a second. They then get 2 2s. Now, that beats it. Now this also is interesting because 2 4s does not beat it. You need to have more dice. But here, the way it's going to work is 2 is enough as long as it's higher. So in this case, these 2 move across. This goes here. Let's talk to you about how this works. This person is currently going over here because they're looking to get this room. Why do you want to go down and do this stuff? Well, this gives you points as well. This is advertising. So at the end of the round, whoever happens to be over here, so I can only ever play 1s now to improve this. I need to go 3 1s. I can't now put something else over there. Then imagine the round ends at this point. This player moves their counter. So of course I need to get out their little respective marker, and it's going to move up 2 positions. All right. Whereas myself, I'm only going to be moving up 1 position. That's a big factor part of the game. So imagine it was myself. Then this will move up 2 positions. And I get myself not just 3 points, but 3 and 3 again. So I get a total of 6 points. And equal to the amount of dice that I placed, this die will move down 2 positions. And as soon as there's a situation whereby these will cross over, this die will come back into my pool for the next round. Now, this person placed 2 dice. Their counter, imagine this was here, would move 1 position, getting 3 points, but that's it. But they place 2 dice. They're going to have 2 of their dice, which are over here. They're going to move, again, 2 as well because they place 2 dice. 1 die, they'll just move 1 die 1 position. 2 dice, they move 1 die 2 positions. Again, when they cross over or reach, they'll take this die back. Now, this die will start moving as soon as there's any time remaining left. So imagine I only have 2 positions to move and they place 3 dice. There's 1 remainder, so this one will move along as well. This will never reset, so of course it's going to be a lot quicker to get your final die out as well. So eventually you may well get 9 dice to start rolling. Okay, so we talked about 2 areas you can go. You can go over here to get buildings, or sorry, I keep saying that, rooms, or you can do advertising. The third thing you do is give a tour. Now the first round you can't give a tour because you haven't got any other buildings out or any other rooms out. However, everyone does start off with a front door. So with orange, I've got this front door. So this is going to go in front of me. Now taking this room, when we get to the end of the round, the way it's going to work is it must join door to door. So if you can see that, it can join door to door. You can never have something like this. You can never have it where they never actually touch. And you can never have anything ever below here, regardless of whether there's a door or not. You can never have anything below the bottom pitch. Okay, so we're now going to continue over. We've now done everything. So imagine we have now finished this. So this would go, anything that was not picked is discarded and you're going to replace it with new stuff. Now just remind you that some of these things happen to be different colours, as I mentioned, but sometimes they're wild. This represents 2 things. So if this is touching, let's say, I don't know, it was touching here, again, door to door, and it was touching yellow, then when you look for majorities into the game, it's going to count as yellow and blue. Okay, that's important to note. So that's something else you can be looking to think about what you want to bid for. So those can go away, and we can chuck out that, obviously, the Wars token again as well. So it's a kind of puzzly game whereby you're looking to build out to improve your tour. So imagine I'm now in a position whereby I've got this over here, and it's in round 2 now, and I imagine I haven't spent any tokens, and I've got this over here, and I've now got myself out a dining room, which happens to, as an example, as you can see, I can't do this. I could go down here, but I can't because of this. I can't go down the end, so I might have to do something like this. Okay, deliberately using this just to keep it quiet when I roll. Now, imagine I've rolled my dice, and it's round 2, so all my dice would come back. Imagine we'd crossed over, so I've got this one as well. Then I roll my dice, so now I've got 8 dice. I can start placing things out here. Now don't worry the fact it's upside down. I've got to start out from my central location, it can be any value because it's a question mark. I rolled 1 5, which isn't very useful necessarily, but let's just say I place out, I don't know, just a 5 here. Now on a future turn, someone else has gone somewhere else, maybe they've bid for something over here. I can now place out things. I can place out, I don't know, well imagine I wanted to chuck out a 3. I chuck in one of my inspiration tokens, because it could be up or down, and now it becomes a 3, and then it goes out here. Again, I roll my dice again, imagine I rolled a 4, imagine I rolled a 5, And imagine I rolled a 6 on a Friday next roll as well. Then, of course, as I mentioned, at the end of the round, you're going to score. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 will equal times 2 plus 1, 11 points. And you can check the rule book to see how that works as well. So I get myself 11 points. So remember, you're going to get points on here, points on here. And whilst you won't get points immediately, you can engine build with this. And it allows you to, of course, then consider getting those majority bonuses, end of game. So the largest mana, in the last game we tied on 13 each. So you can basically take 12 points, but as it's a 2-player game, the last game, it didn't really matter. If you have any of these inspiration tokens left over, you're going to get 1 point for every 2. So in the last game I only had 1, so it didn't give me anything. Again, there's unique building types as well, so you can check. I've got a dining room here, I've got myself a water closet, I've got myself obviously a television room, but that is not enough to, of course, get a minimum of 4. So you're doing this a total of 4 times. Again, bidding, so you're going to play until everyone's played out all their dice, taking it turns. So of course, you might play it out your dice sooner than somebody else. You're going to collect those rewards based on where you've been. So again, that's over here. Then you're going to be building, so then you're going to start putting stuff together at the same time, and then you'll refresh back to the start to the next round. So in terms of those locations, obviously sometimes they do have multiple things. You could place a 5 or a 6. There's another times whereby, of course, at the beginning of the next round, this is moving across to the next player. And yes, when you do the grand opening, that is the final round. So the 5th round, when we get down to here, all you don't do any of this. You simply roll your dice and you try and place out as much as you can. That's one of the best things about this game, is the fact you start building out your grand design, your grand mansion to give a tour, to get people around a much better building to live in, and then you're going to see how well you do. So there's a lot of dice mitigation, but as a 2, as you can see, the first player will get themselves 2 bumps up here. The second player will just get 1 bump, but as soon as the first player is up to the ends, then they have got much interest going here, apart from blocking someone. So of course the second player, in this case, can start going into first uncontested, which means no one, again in a 2-player game, is able to go here. If you finish 3rd, doesn't matter how many dice you place, you're always going to move your marker this way, but you'll only ever get 1 inspiration. So in a 2-player game, there's very little mitigation. You've got to play the dice that you have. For that reason, I prefer the game as a 3 or a 4. Doesn't make much difference. And as a 2, there is a kind of house rule whereby you can just take 3 dice from a colour not being used, and then you can use that to kind of help mess with you around a bit. Again, you don't know what's going to come up next. You don't know what colours you're going to need. It's interesting to fight over the various colours going on here. The rating for this game on Board Game Geek is around 6.7, something like that. I give it slightly higher, more like a 6.9, with my average rating being a 6.4 for all games I've played. And as you can see, it does take up a fair amount of space, so just be aware of that. That is the nature of tile building games typically, but especially with these large beasts over here, it is something to be aware of. But I do like the puzzling nature of trying to get things to align and stuff like that. It's a game which is very nice, aesthetically pleasing to look at. I like the components. I like, they're quite nice, thick, blocky pieces. The play rate is fairly decent. Obviously, it's double-sided as well. And yeah, there's not much else really to say about it. So it's just interesting to see what you're looking to grab and place next. And I like, I guess, the theme of using advertising and stuff to move things along. So yeah, straightforward game. It's interesting to play. Again, this is going to be a Mass Games playlist, how to set up play and read playlist, the Family Mate playlist, and again, check out the podcast. I've been talking about this as well. Find the information via the description on YouTube, as well as supporting via Patreon. There's occasional competitions, but are time sensitive, so they do disappear via Linktree. There are photos over on Instagram, so please follow along there. Over 3,000 posts. And also via Facebook, you can join the discussion there. Any other questions, or always, please do let me know via the comments best on YouTube. And again, for now, back to the table.